Hello friends, this is Poonam Kuar, Assistant Professor, Government First Grade College, Bagipalli. Today we'll be discussing the subject Consumer Behavior, which is for BBA 5th semester, Bengaluru North University. The topic for today's session is, which is from the third chapter of your syllabus, Environmental Determinants of Consumer Behavior. And the topic is Stages of Group Development. So before exactly starting today's topic, let us first recap our previous class topic, which was reference group influence on consumers. How reference groups are influencing the consumers in taking the decisions. So that was our previous class topic where we have discussed different types of reference groups and in different criteria based references, what is been given by these reference groups and how they influence the consumers and modify their buying behavior decision. Now, so learning objective of the chapter is, the objective of this chapter is to understand the environmental determinants of the consumer behavior. So what are the different environmental determinants which influences the consumer behavior? Session outcomes. The students will be able to explain the group development, how the group is being developed, what are the different steps or different stages which are the part of this group development process. Now, so let us exactly start what is the topic of today's session, that is group development stages. So before going exactly to stages, let us understand what is this group development. Okay, so the group development means forming the association of people to work as a group and direct their actions towards the accomplishment of a common goal. So the job of each group member are interdependent and hence the performance of one will affect the entire group's performance. So it is often called as team building athava team development. Now, like a group development is like forming an association of people, like we are coming together and forming an association, so that will constitute a group. So it might be for a direct action or it might be for any of the planning purpose towards accomplishing a common goal. So they will be setting a common goal, and to achieve that common goal they are coming together in an association, and that association has been given some formal group name. So the job of this each group member is interdependent. So the members of the group or the group, the people who are there in that group, everybody is interdependent. One is dependent on other. So while taking any decision, one has to consult other before framing any of the decision in the group. So hence the performance of one will affect the entire group's performance. Like if any of the member in the group is he or she is not performing well, so it will entirely affect the performance of the group. So these kind of people who are coming together and forming an association for achieving a common goal, it is often called as team building, or it is known as team development, or in simple we call it as group development. Now, so how this group development concept has come into picture? So Dr. Bruce Tuckman published his forming, storming, norming, performing model in the year 1965, and then he later added a fifth stage, that is adjourning, in the 1970s. This theory is an elegant and helpful explanation of team athwa group development and their behavior. So these stages of group development, there is a one specific person like Dr. Bruce Tuckman. He has published these stages of group development in his famous book published, where starting in at the initial stage he has developed 4 stages of group development, that is forming, storming, norming, performing, in the year 1965. But later he has added one more stage in the group development, that is called adjourning, in the 1970s. Okay. Now let us see in detail what are the stages of group development. Okay, there are 5 important stages of group development according to Tuckman. So the first comes forming, then storming, then norming, afterwards performing, And once performing is done, adjourning is the final stage in the group development process. Now, uh, first, what is this forming stage? In the forming stage, members get to know each other and they set ground rules. Starting base has been framed. Then, for storming, members come to resist control by group leaders and show hostility. They will be interesting in doing the work. Then, norming, members work together. They develop close relationship and feeling of cohesiveness. At the performing stage, group members work towards getting their jobs done to achieve that common goal. And at the end, adjourning, the group may disband either after meeting their goals or because members leave. Okay. Now, in detail, let us see what are these stages include. So first comes the forming stage. So under the forming stage, we have this is a group is initially coming together. First, they are coming together and a group is been framed. So period is characterized by shyness and uncertainty among the members because as it is a newly constructed group, people will be little shy and there will be uncertainty among the members. Then, extroverted, outspoken members may rapidly assume some kind of leadership role. In the group, the people who will be like extroverted and they are more outspoken. So they start and they start speaking to each other, and the person who would be outspoken, he may accept the role of leadership, and he combines, or he may she combines the group people, and they start discussing something. Then maintenance concerns are predominating at this stage. Why are we here? They decide why this group has been framed. What are we doing here? What is our goal? What is our common purpose? These all would be aware. See, about this all the awareness would be given and inclusion would be framed. This is the first stage, forming. Then comes the storming stage. So once established period of vying for positions and roles within the group is been framed, some seek out and compete for status, control, authority and influence. At the storming stage, the authority is been framed. So anything inner conflict, if there is there, that would be sorted out. A period of testing out the leaders would be conducted at this stage. Then disagreement and arguments arise. If anyone is not agreeing for that particular decision, he may argue, arise and fueled and manufacture. In the end, the roles are eventually allocated. So individual would be given certain roles according to their particular pro forma. Then the initial leaders may not survive this period. It is the most uncomfortable phase of the group's life, akin to adolescence. So here, in the previous stage, the person who has taken the leadership lead, he may not sustain, or the leader might be changed at this stage. Then comes the norming stage. This is like internal group structure now sorted. Group identity will take place and it will be given a particular shape. So what kind of behaviors and contributions are acceptable and normalized within the group. So what is frowned upon, not tolerated. So anything if it is going out of control, which will not be tolerated at this stage. Formation of implicit and explicit group norms. So what should be our internal group norms? What should be our external group norms? These all would be framed at this stage. Then norms create structure, and what do we stand for? So here one particular structure would be allocated, and why we are, that would be again defined. The group can readily slip back into storming stage. The cooperation is been framed at this stage and cohesion would be found out. And then comes the performing stage. So what is this performing stage? Here actually the people would be, the group members would be working and they would be action oriented at this stage to achieve their common goal. So work and progress commences on the basis of relatively stable group structure. So as in the previous stage, the group structure would be framed. Based on that group structure, the work will take place and the progress commences on the basis of that group structure. So here, moving in unison towards goals and completion. and then actions would be taking place, like actually the people will work, actually the work would be done, action oriented, and the results would be found, productivity will take place, and team cohesion and identity would be derived. And then the last stage comes, that is again adjourning. Adjourning is like completion and disengagement. So once the common goal has been achieved, the group may disperse, the group may disappear, separation and ending from task and members. So once the common goal is achieved, the group members may separate from each other, and that particular task is been achieved, so members may disappear. Pride and accomplishment may be felt. So if the common goal has been achieved, if the set tasks are achieved, then here the pride and accomplishment may be felt among the group members. Then some describe this stage as deforming and mourning, like recognizing the sense of loss felt by the group members. So if the group members have not done well, if they were wrong somewhere, so here the recognition of what what are the negative clues of our groups were there, that would be analyzed, and if I would have not done in that way, what was the result would be. So this loss might be felt, and it will be analyzed at this stage. So these are some the different stages of group development. So quickly, let us recap what are the today's sessions topics we have discussed. Like we have discussed what is group development meaning, and then we have discussed the various stages of group formation, how and what are the stages of group development. So we have seen first stage is forming stage, where the members get to know each other. Then comes the storming stage, where the members resist and controlled by the group leaders, and hostility would be formed. Then comes the norming stage, where members work together and developing close relationship with each other. Then comes the performing stage. Performing stage is again action oriented work would be taken place, and group members work towards getting their jobs to be done. And lastly comes the adjourning stage. Adjourning stage is like group may disband either after meeting their goals, or they leave each other because the members may separate from each other. So these are the different 5 stages which we have discussed, which are the part of group development: forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. So these all 5 stages, who has given this? Like Dr. Bruce Tuckman, he has published his forming, storming, norming, performing model in the year 1965. He later added a 5th stage, that is adjourning, in the year 1970s. So this theory is elegant and helpful in explaining how the team development or group development takes place, and how their behavior would be at each different stage of group development. So each stage in the group development will be having certain characteristics. So forming stage is having, like, it is initial stage where people will be shy, uncertainty will be more, and they decide why we are here, what we will do, what is our goal, what is our purpose, and awareness would be created among the group members. In the storming stage, initial leader would be considered, then arguments and control position would be decided, their roles would be allocated, and people would be like actually they will be working towards their common goal. Norming stage, again here internal group structure would be sorted out, group identity will take place, implicit and explicit norms would be created, and structure what we do, and group structure would be framed, cooperation and cohesion take place. Then comes the performing stage. Performing here, this is actually action oriented work would be taking place. Work and progress commences at this stage, and it is relatively more stable, and group structure, according to said group structure, they will be working here. Moving in unison towards goal and accomplishment. So it is action oriented and results would be derived. So whatever the action takes place, immediately that actions result would be derived. Whether we are achieving our set target or not, here they will be analyzing themselves. So actual productivity will take place and team cohesion and identity would be derived. Then comes the adjourning stage at the end, which is completion and disengagement. Once the task is completed, the disengagement will take place. People will separate themselves from that particular group after achieving the common set tasks. So here comes the pride and accomplishment may be felt. People would be feeling proud of what they have done, or it might be in this way also. Some also describe this group as if the set target is not achieved and something among the group members goes wrong, that the sense of loss felt by the group members also would be analyzed at this stage. So, in our today's session, we have discussed what is group development and what are the different stages in the group development. Thank you one and all.